Welcome dear Thriver to Thriver TV. Today I want to talk about narcissistic abuse and lies. Because in a relationship with a narcissist, it is fraught with lies. And I hope today is going to help you realize so much, because I want to peel back these lies and look at truths that are going to set you free. Big truths. That the narcissists lie about us, and you may be surprised to understand how we lie about them. Before we get going, if you're new to my information, if you've had enough of the pain of narcissistic abuse and toxic or disappointing relationships, then make sure to subscribe to my channel and press the notification button so that you're notified every time I do a new release. And if my videos resonate with you, please make sure to like and share. All right, now let's look at the narcissist position in all of this. We're going to talk about the narcissist lies about you. Narcissists are a false self, which means a constructed image of who he or she would like to be. Somebody superior or valid, untouchable, a cut above, deserving of specialized treatment, and of course, impunity to any criticism whatsoever. The narcissist as a false self is above reproach. So what happens is they suffer a terrible narcissistic injury if this perfect superior mirage of themselves is challenged. Because underneath this front, is a shocking low self-esteem and a very fragile ego, because the narcissist's inner core is deeply damaged and it can't stand anybody challenging their narrative about their constructed version of themselves and about life. So what this means is when there's any threat to this version that they're creating and trying to uphold, the narcissist will need to project, twist and turn facts and blame you for pretty much everything. Anything that they are upset about is going to be somebody else's fault, and of course it's often going to be your fault. If you question something, then everything's your fault. If you're upset, you're not allowed to be upset. They're now upset and it's your fault. And if the narcissist has got something going on in their own life that's negative, even if it's got nothing to do with you, well then they will still blame you and bring you into it. And this is especially true with covert narcissists who are kind of like the victim type. And they're always on about how they would have been superior and they would have been amazing, but it was always somebody else's fault that held them back in their life. So this is what happens with a narcissist, is it's your fault. And to keep this projection going, this blame shifting, which is a buffer, and it's relieving the narcissist of their narcissistic injury, of admitting that there's something defective within themselves, because they don't want to admit that there's anything about themselves that needs attention or healing or development or adjustment or growth. The narcissist not only blames you to your face, or will do the silent treatment or something like that to blame you for you bringing anything up to them or anything that's going wrong in their life. The narcissist is also about smearing you to other people. So they're going to tell their work colleagues of the terrible things that you do to them. And they will smear you to their family, and maybe even members of your own family and people in your friendship and colleague circles who believe in you and who respect you. Because the narcissist cannot bear seeing you in healthy relationships. Because if you have relationships with people who like you and love you and respect you, well, then it's a threat to their narrative that you're the sick, defective, and abusive one. And this is what makes the narcissist feel even more justified to defame you and discredit you, because they're right. These people must be wrong about you because you're the wrong one. And I know as normal people who just don't think this way, I know you find it horrifying and that it's a total lack of loyalty that people who you have relationships with, people who are supposed to love and care about you, could even behave in this way. And of course, it's so disloyal. It's such a betrayal for people to smear you and even come up with these ridiculous perceptions of you that are not the truth. But this is what you need to know. The narcissist doesn't have loyalty to you. You're not a flesh, blood, and bone autonomous being. There is only one being that the narcissist is having a love affair and a loyalty with. That's with the false self, which is their internal ego structure, which demands obedience and compliance, and is necessary for the narcissist to serve. It's the one true master to keep the facade going. And that's to the exclusion of the damage of everything around it, including yourself. The narcissist has decided you don't deserve respect and care because you are merely a prop, you're a tool to serve the false self. And not only are you a threat to the false self, simply because you're not always going to agree with it, you're also a target. You're a dump master to blame for the narcissist's failures and their bad feelings. Because when the false self cannot maintain the mirage of superiority and perfection and omnipotence, the false self suffers a crack. And this actually happens regularly because the reality that it's trying to live by is very delusional. It's flaky, it's flimsy, and it cracks regularly. So when things don't perfectly fall into place with the unrealistic, immature, and insecure expectations of the false self, the narcissist is going to turn on you and blame you and smear you. A narcissist will not talk nicely about you, yet you may hear at times that they've told other people how wonderful or fantastic you are at something, but yet they never say it to you, and it's very hurtful. What is that about? What that is about is them bragging about your accomplishments to other people because it's lending them superiority or notoriety or acclaim or prestige. Or the narcissistic supply of people thinking, what a wonderful partner or family member they are, speaking so highly of you. But really, a lot of the time, them speaking badly about you to other people is them getting attention, favours, and allegiance by telling people what you're doing to them is abusive or wrong or hurtful to them. If you have blown up at a narcissist or done a serious misdemeanor to them in their own eyes, and let's face it, under the pressure of narcissistic abuse, sometimes we do retaliate with words or actions that are pretty horrible because we've been driven to the brink by these people, then, and this happens all the time, the narcissist is going to wear what you did to them as a badge. And they're a long-time sufferer about it. And they hold it like, I have this over you, to parade to others what you did, guilt you about it, and use it as a justification for their abuse to you. And I know with, somebody dear to me in my life, with their narcissistic partner, he treated her horribly for years, and then she ended up having just an emotional relationship with somebody. She didn't play up, but she confessed, that she had feelings, and he held that against her as an infidelity for decades. And she suffered horrible guilt and abuse with all of that, and it hooked her in. And of course, narcissists refuse to take responsibility for the untold ghastly things that they've been putting you through for years. The truth is they have no concept of this because, again, you're not a blood, flesh, real human being. You're a tool for their supply, so you simply don't matter. Okay. So that's the narcissist side of things. Let's have a look at your lies about them, which is what we all did. Cognitive dissonance is a really real thing within narcissistic abuse, and you've probably heard the word. Because until we get some sanity and power inside and we start honouring our soul and aligning with that, we are trauma bonded to narcissists. So really, what does that mean? It means no matter how many arrows the narcissist shoots into you, you keep trying to hug them and love them and fix things. And you may feel like you still love this person and you can't live without them and you're going to die if you can't make it work with them. And I know, I felt the same as well. This always comes back to 4 essential ingredients that we believe that this person is our source of: love, approval, security, and survival. And if we went through childhoods where we lived with codependent and or narcissistic parents, we didn't have it modeled to us how to be a healthy source to self to ourselves. So we danced around other people's wounds without them taking responsibility for their wounds and showing the way. We learned to try to be safe and loved, to go along to get along. We didn't know how to create boundaries. We didn't know how to anchor into our values and say no to unhealthy behaviour. And of course, as children, we were powerless to do that, but as adults, we aren't. We can heal and develop that. So what we've done unconsciously is take on people pleasing and trying to fix other people so that they will love us and approve of us and look after our security and survival needs. So really, we're kind of still like those children in an adult body, still trying to earn love and safety without realizing that we've been doing that, despite our soul screaming at us, you're being abused and you're losing more and more and more pieces of yourself. We cling on. And this is the part where we lie. In order to cling on and stay, we have to make excuses. We tell ourselves stories such as, this person deserves my allegiance and help because he or she had such a terrible childhood. We tell ourselves love can conquer everything, that families must stick together no matter what if the narcissist is a family member, that people in authority know more than what we do if we're being abused by authority, and that we should acquiesce and trust them. And the list goes on and on and on and on. We may even be so abused and trauma bonded and projected onto by the lies that the narcissist keeps telling us that we start to believe that we're the bad one, we're defective, we're guilty, we're wrong, and maybe even, well, I'm such a bad person, I deserve to be punished. Maybe we believe that we're the problem, that the narcissist is right, and we're the one who needs help. Whatever our reasons are for staying attached to these people abusing us, we keep lying to ourselves. How do we know that these are lies? Because things get worse. They don't get better, they get worse. our soul keeps screaming at us. And that's in stark contrast to the truth, if we were to align with the truth, because the truth doesn't do these things. The truth, when we accept it and get on board with it, always brings solidness and power and solutions and starts setting us free. Not only this, we start saying these lies to others who are observing our decline, or that we're pulling away from community and socializing in society. Or maybe some people have actually seen the treatment by the narcissist that happened in front of them. Or maybe in desperation we do reach out and we tell people what's happening to us because it is so terrible. Yet then, in the next breath, we make excuses as to why we're going to stay, and we vehemently justify our reasons for doing this. I know you've done this because I did it too. Or perhaps people in your life sounded the alarm about this person to you. Maybe they did it right at the start, or maybe as the relationship progressed, they spoke up. Maybe they never liked the narcissist. Maybe they saw through them and they didn't trust them, and they were honest enough to tell you. Maybe you had people from this person's past warn you even, and you dismissed them and you refused to look into these things because they threatened the reality that you wanted to believe in. So we hold up the lies. So how do we stop lying to ourselves and others? What is this about? And I'll tell you straight up what it's about. If we have unhealed, traumatized beliefs around love and relationships, which is traumas that are unhealed, and we bring them in from childhood and even beyond, and we can even inherit them genetically, but they're unhealed and they're still there. And these are lots of things, and they can be things like, the people I love betray me, invalidate me, leave me, hurt me, annihilate me. That's your love code. And these are the people who we unconsciously gravitate to and we cling to because they're the love code match. And our subconscious is so powerful. By the time we're around 30 years of age, people like Bruce Lipton actually believe that around 90 to 95% of our life is happening beneath the level of conscious recognition, like it's on autopilot. So we're being steered emotionally through attraction forces to enmesh powerfully with the people who match our love code. And what happens is this subconscious program, which is running 90 to 95% of our feelings, our thoughts, our choices, who and what we do get with, that only leaves a tiny 5 or 10%, which is what we logically think. So the brain follows the body because it's an almighty force. So we come up with the reasons and the ideas in our brain to defend why we're in the cognitive dissonance, why we're making excuses for staying connected to things that hurt us. I don't know if you can recall convincing others about why you need to be with this person, why they really do have the potential to be good. They really do love you. They are getting better. They're making an effort and all these things. But if you're really honest with yourself, you know when you're staunchly defending this person, you're really trying to convince yourself. And deep down, you know it isn't the truth. Another way that we can be in the lie is trying to model loyalty to the person hurting you, righteously in a hope that they're going to feel guilty about the smearing of you and the mistrust of you and the terrible treatment. and you lecture and prescribe to this person how you have their back, how you speak nicely about them, how you never put them down to other people, because they're doing it to you and you're trying to get them to learn how to behave. Maybe you're lying to their boss and their family and even their kids about their irresponsibility, why they didn't turn up, why they don't care. You cover up their drinking problems, their gambling, their money mismanagement. Maybe you're paying the fines. You're doing all the heavy lifting. You're holding things together so that you don't have other people thinking that your relationship and your life is a mess, so that you can keep up a charade that your life is great. And it's a lie. So here it is in conclusion. A life with a false self is a lie. It can only be maintained through lies. The narcissist lies about you as a projection of their disordered personality to maintain their delusional fictitious self. The lies to yourself and others that go against your soul truth and what would be healthy for you, which is leaving and healing your inner love code and developing your solid self-love and inner being, so that you can generate healthy relationships and say no to those who aren't healthy for you. That's the lie that you've been doing. Only the truth will set you free, which means coming out of the trance. The narcissist is not going to stop lying, and the narcissist never will. There will never be a time in the narcissist's life where they will acknowledge the truth about you, that you did care, that you did want to love them, and you are loyal. As far as the narcissist is concerned, you are the enemy. You're going to be the enemy today, tomorrow, next week, next month, and in 30 years' time. That's not going to change. Only you can know the truth about you, and you have to accept the truth about them. The truth sets you free, because when you accept it, seek it, and align with it, then your life can break free and start being healthy, which means letting go and healing the parts of you attached to trying to fix the narcissist, and rather turning inside to heal yourself. That's what's going to create the change. Okay, so I hope that this has made sense to you. It's given you a lot of food for thought. And I'm going to put up a link with this video which can connect you to my free webinar to really investigate this further, how to unravel the lies, how to align with the truth, and start honoring and healing yourself beyond all of this. So check out the show notes and come in and experience a quantum freedom healing, which will help you release yourself from the lies and fill you with truth and power and clarity. Okay, so until the next one, keep smiling, keep healing, and keep thriving, because there's nothing else to do. Lots of love. Bye-bye.